anyone complaining about what WWE served up as Survivor Series needs to think about handing in their wrestling fan card. Different opinions are part and parcel of the industry, nobody can deny that. However, those in charge managed to create more drama and excitement in one night than they perhaps have all year. Survivor Series 2016 was a slick card from beginning to end. Every match had something to say. Coming out of the pay-per-view, it's safe to state that relying on more than one traditional elimination bout was a successful decision. It's easy to criticize WWE when they don't get things right, so it's important to acknowledge when they do. A plethora of high spots peppered the show. So plentiful were the major bumps that they could fill several lists. Survivor Series was a night for frantic action more than anything else. Announce tables were shattered. Shane McMahon looked like he was legitimately out of it, and one of WWE's biggest stars was on the receiving end of a squash. Let's look at the many awesome moments this year's Survivor Series had to offer. 10. Jericho on the social media lounge. It's hardly shocking news to report that Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho are a riot together. During the recent media interview, Jericho revealed that he and KO agree they have excellent natural chemistry with Tom Phillips. On screen, the announcer unfortunately suffers the brunt of Jericho's abuse, and it's damn entertaining. Right before Survivor Series properly started, Jericho and Owens were guests on Phillips's social media lounge. Taking place on the kickoff show, the segment was a winner as soon as it started. Furious over the fact his buddy hadn't been invited, Owens brought Y2J on set to join him. What followed was an example of how crucial organic performances are across a few minutes of improvised mayhem. Showing complete chemistry and a willingness to clown around, Jericho, Owens and Phillips had a blast with this one. Borderline bullying their more serious peer, the tag team partners could barely prevent themselves from cracking a smile on camera. There will be those who choose to skip the kickoff portion. This short skit made it well worthwhile, almost essential viewing before checking out Survivor Series in full. 9. Bayley steals Charlotte's thunder. It proved a shrewd decision to open the pay-per-view portion of Survivor Series with the female Team Raw vs. Team SmackDown affair. The live crowd in Toronto, Canada were red hot for everyone who came through the curtain, something that's great to see in an era when audiences can be a tad self-serving. Towards the end of the match, Charlotte Flair and Bayley were left 2-on-1 against Becky Lynch. The SmackDown Women's Champion couldn't overturn the odds stacked against her. Raw left with the victory. Most notably, it was Bayley who pinned Lynch instead of Charlotte. That's right, babyface beat babyface. Stealing the spotlight from the Raw Women's Champ, Bayley was then ambushed by Charlotte post-match. Excellently handled. Those Canadians in the stands were delighted to see the girl next door character pick up a win on pay-per-view. Better yet, Bayley didn't have to sacrifice any of her on-screen morals to succeed. Doing little more than her best, Bayley was nonetheless hammered by a jealous Charlotte. As an entire package, this was awesome. 8. Cesaro uses a sharpshooter to win for Team Raw. More awesomeness ensued during the elimination encounter pitting tag teams from Monday Night Raw against those from SmackDown Live. The ring apron was a busy place here. No less than 20 wrestlers surrounded the squared circle. Xavier Woods was even at ringside to represent the New Day. The reigning Raw Tag Team Champions didn't last long. They were gone less than a full minute into the bout. Fast forward to the end though, and another memorable moment could be seen. This time, it involved Sheamus, Cesaro, and the Usos, all of whom were asked to end the near 20-minute clash. Fittingly, due to the host country for Survivor Series, Cesaro locked one of the Usos in a nifty-looking sharpshooter. Just as it looked like one brother may save the other, Sheamus chimed in with a brogue kick. This allowed Cesaro to maintain his grip and win the match by submission. Naturally, the sharpshooter was Bret Hart's finishing hold. Once again, the Canadian crowd reveled in the moment, seeing such an iconic submission move pay dividends for a popular babyface. 7. Callistos Spanish Fly off the ring apron. Caught in the middle of traditional Survivor Series elimination matches, Brian Kendrick vs. Kalisto was in a tough spot. Not only that, The pair also had to contend with the fact that interaction had been lacking on television in preceding weeks. Kendrick and Kalisto can hardly be blamed for that. They are on different shows. Going about their business in a workmanlike fashion, the cruiserweight duo eventually managed to suck the audience into their match. Playing a huge role in this was the bout's most visually stunning bump, one that could have went badly wrong had Kendrick and his masked foe not been careful. Standing on the ring apron, Kalisto performed a backflip as he was holding on to Kendrick. Known as a Spanish Fly, this move looks painful even when used inside the ring. Taking that fall from the ring apron to the arena floor was brave, although it paid off because the stunt looked sweet. Spectacular and stunning, this move had the announce team going crazy. Even though the Spanish Fly didn't end the match, it still looked great. 6. KO and AJ Styles kick things off. Dream matches come thick and fast in pro wrestling nowadays. There isn't much regular WWE fans haven't seen by this point. One combination that hasn't been wheeled out time and time again is AJ Styles vs. Kevin Owens, a fact which made their short showdown at Survivor Series all the more satisfying. Starting out the main Team Raw vs. Team SmackDown elimination match, AJ and KO had numerous other pieces of interaction throughout. As the wrestlers stood face to face right at the beginning, the commentators made sure to note that this was effectively a chance to secure bragging rights for either the WWE World or Universal Champion. There's little doubt Styles vs. Owens is the kind of match that people would love to see happen somewhere down the road. Hilariously, KO told AJ his hair looked stupid as he stood on the ring apron later. Surely, promos between both men during an outright feud would be superb. Having the top champs on Raw and SmackDown start proceedings was smart. Although both playing heel, AJ and Owens command respect from the core fan base. 5. Shane McMahon's death-defying elbow drop on Braun Strowman. It's been said that Shane McMahon has a death wish, which would explain his penchant for jumping off of high places and crashing through tables nicely. The latest entry into Shane's catalog of extreme bumps occurred at Survivor Series. McMahon seemed only too happy to scale the top turnbuckle and hurl himself through the air. Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton had managed to secure Braun Strowman onto one of the announce tables around ringside. Orton even hit the big man with an RKO, giving the perfect explanation as to why Strowman was dazed for so long. That created a window of opportunity for Shane. One of McMahon's favored bumps is an elbow drop from the top rope to the commentary desk. An incredible leap, the move actually hurts Shane more than the man taking it. After all, it's Shane O'Mac's body that suffers the main impact. Surrounded by a pile of wood and plastic, McMahon and Strowman must have enjoyed the drama their big moment caused. Truthfully, this was much better than Shane taking Braun out face to face. 4. Braun Strowman annihilates James Ellsworth. Braun Strowman wasn't quite done for the evening when he soaked up that elbow from Shane McMahon. Trying to get back into the ring, he suddenly stopped and was unable to enter before the referee had counted to 10. It was only afterwards that James Ellsworth's hand could be seen on Braun's shin. Distracted, Strowman was officially eliminated from the match by count-out. The diminutive SmackDown Live mascot had been the one to cause his elimination, and that infuriated the monstrous mountain of a man. Chasing Ellsworth up towards the entrance stage, Braun then annihilated WWE's newest signing. A trio of tables were laying prone next to the entrance ramp, presumably to cushion Ellsworth's fall. Grabbed by Strowman, he was thrown off the stage and landed awkwardly on just one of those tables. Thankfully, it gave way and absorbed some of the impact. In the midst of everything else that was going on in the Team Raw vs. Team SmackDown match, this was a wonderful visual. Strowman's elimination was easily explained and he was able to get revenge on James Ellsworth all at once. 3. The Shield briefly reunite. Roman Reigns was booed mercilessly during Survivor Series. That's nothing new for the supposed babyface. It's been a long time since Reigns heard nothing but cheers. Going back to his time in the Shield, ironically when he was heel, Roman was quite accustomed to ferocious fan support during his appearances. Turning back the clock, Reigns was only briefly popular on the latest pay-per-view. Stopping Dean Ambrose from being ejected by security, Reigns and Seth Rollins had other things in mind. Ambrose had re-emerged after his own elimination to attack AJ Styles, meaning what happened next made sense from a storyline perspective. Teaming up for the first time in a while, Rollins, Reigns and Ambrose reunited as the Shield for just a second, blasting Styles with the triple powerbomb through one of the announce desks. They had the crowd in the palms of their hands. As soon as Rollins and Reigns helped Ambrose out by dispatching security goons, people in attendance knew what was coming next. That anticipation resonated through the TV screen, creating one of the most thrilling moments at Survivor Series. 2. Seeing Goldberg back on WWE pay-per-view. The last time Bill Goldberg made an appearance on WWE pay-per-view, the landscape in the company was dramatically different. At WrestleMania 20, Goldberg faced Brock Lesnar. Meanwhile, Chris Benoit and Eddie Guerrero were on top as World Heavyweight and WWE Champion respectively. Now in 2016, Goldberg looks like he hasn't lost a step. At Mania 20 in 2004, both he and Lesnar were on their way out of the promotion. Therefore, the match they had on the show was hampered from the get-go. Fans in Madison Square Garden knew what was going on and let the pair have it. Simply seeing Goldberg back in the mix must go down as an awesome moment. Everything about his appearance worked, from that infamous entrance to the result of his match. Even without the win, the ex-WCW man would have succeeded in his attempts to make a worthwhile comeback. Performing for the first time on WWE pay-per-view in over 12 years, Goldberg didn't look out of place. There are few who command attention like a fired-up Bill Goldberg. 1. Goldberg destroys Brock Lesnar. Adrenaline overload is one way to describe the outcome of Brock Lesnar vs. Goldberg at Survivor Series 2016. Goosebump-inducing is another. This wasn't a main event that outstayed any welcomes. Despite being the shortest headliner of the year, the match will live long in the memory regardless. After all, it's not every day that WWE fans get to see a beast like Lesnar humbled in such startling fashion. In less than a few minutes, Goldberg hit his jackhammer finisher and pinned Brock for the victory. Notably, fans didn't boo the result. They were far too busy reacting with surprise and sheer shock. Brilliantly laid out, this short squash made Goldberg look like the man again. It's been too long since wrestling enthusiasts have seen him tear through an opponent in short order. The fact it was Brock Lesnar only made things feel more special. In the most hair-raising manner possible, Goldberg was booked to definitively destroy Lesnar. Inconceivable before the pay-per-view, that just doesn't happen to Paul Heyman's crown jewel of a client. However, it did at Survivor Series.
Thanks you for watching video. Here are some other videos we think you might like, and don't forget to click subscribe. Thanks.